Yo, it's been a while since I made one of these. Eating a yogurt. This video I wanted to make because, a lot of people, myself included, we complicate life, right? We get so caught up in bills and trying to keep up with the Joneses and making sure you get a good degree and you fit in with society and you leave your mark on the world. And I think that tends to lead to a lot of people just living too much in here, living too much in your head. I'm saying this as someone who has dealt with that and deals with that. And what I've realized is it doesn't matter. Let's think of it like this. Let's say you become Alexander the Great, okay, the 21st century, and then you die, let's say in 2070. In 3059, maybe they're talking about you. Maybe you left an impact. In 5048, it's possible, less likely, but no one's going to remember your shortcomings. No one's going to remember much about you, and most people won't become an Alexander. So why do you care that much? People don't care about you, and that's not a negative thing. It's a positive thing. It means that you can do whatever. You don't really have to stress too much, and we just stress too much. We overthink things because of the world that we live in. It's pretty simple. Act on the things you want to act on that are good, obviously. I can't dumb it. I can only dumb things down to a certain level. At some point, you have to have your own discernment for all the things I say. But I mean, just stay in relatively good shape. Make sure that you're staying social. You meet people at some point. You maintain friendships. You build friendships. Eventually, if it's in your cards, you find a relationship. Everyone's life is different, though. It's really what it all comes down to is just living your life to the fullest. And what is that? What I believe that is taking the actions that your subconscious, your conscious, whatever that feeling is, like where you should be going, just taking that action and seeing where the road goes, just walking along the journey. People get so caught up on what came before, on what happens after, on is this the right way, is that the right way, when in reality that's all made up. It doesn't exist. Whatever came before, you can't control. Whatever comes after, you can't control. The right move you can control, but you don't know whether or not it's going to turn out to be the right move until you look back. All that really matters is staying on the journey and just walking it. That's all you can do. And if you're honestly walking it, then you can't really be mad at yourself. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna lose. You're gonna win. You're gonna fall in love. You're gonna have heartbreak. You're gonna let people down. You're gonna make people proud. You're gonna do all these things, and it's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to be proud of. It's just something to be lived. We overcomplicate life. People want to know, what is the meaning of life? What happens after I die? Does God exist? Am I doing the right thing for my career? It's like, you're just doing too much. You're just doing too much. It's not that deep. At some level, you gotta just keep it simple, stupid. Shout out to Michael Scott. I mean, it's a joke, it's a gag, but it's a great philosophy. Just live life. I'm not saying be a knucklehead and, don't hold any values, any principles. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. Those are important. And for everyone, it's different, whatever that may be for you. But you have to be an active participant in the world. And if you're doing that, then everything else will unfold as your journey goes. And some questions you'll get an answer to, some questions you won't get an answer to. Some things will happen that you could have never envisioned, and some things will happen according to plan. But at the end of the day, your responsibility is just to maintain walking that path on that journey. And just trying to grow. I mean, look at every other aspect of life, biological life. what does it all do? Something is born, something grows, and something dies. That's it. And that's all you really, if you just dumb it down to that, then what is there to, I mean, all the other stuff, it's just scoobly gobble, you know. But I mean, what I think, you know, you're born and you die. You can't control those, but you do exist. And your job as the active participant in being aware is to grow. And as long as you're going through life and you're trying to grow, no matter what happens, you fall, you rise, as long as you're trying to grow and develop, that's the purpose. We all look for these out there things to try to explain, to try to get away from the mundanity to try to escape our lives. Well, you're missing the point. The point is you are alive, and to experience that life and to grow within that life. You know, and you might be might have a random job and, you know, look to someone else and be like, damn, I should be there. Well, if you really feel in your heart of hearts, do what you have to do to get to where you think that is. And you'll learn along that, whether or not that's right, whether or not that's wrong, whether or not you can do it, you know, make the most of it no matter what. Just continue to grow. And there's ways that you're going to grow and you won't be able to grow no more. I don't really believe that, but I mean, to an extent, you know, there's some things you can't grow anymore. And then you just adjust. You just accept where you are in that regard, and you switch to another endeavor to grow in. And that's it. And then you die. And then what comes after death? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm a human, so I think about it, and I'm like, man, I wonder. But think of it like this. There's like two scenarios. Either one, there's an afterlife, so life keeps going on in some form, whatever it is, you know, whether it's heaven or whatever other people speak of, I don't know. Or, I mean, and that's, I mean, most people would prefer that, so I'd say that's pretty good. Or, you die, and there's nothing. But that's not bad either, because if there's nothing, that means there's no experience. And if there's no experience, it can't be bad, because for anything to be bad, you have to experience it in a negative way. But to experience it in a negative way, you have to experience. So if there's nothing, well, there's nothing to experience. So how can that be bad either? Just make the most of your life. And that's what I think it all comes down to. You know, grow, walk the journey, and that's really all you can do. So that's it. I'll see you guys later.